In this video, we're going to work through how to solve for the variance and standard deviation when you have a frequency distribution of interval ratio data. So in this case, you can see that we have a frequency distribution where we asked 400 people how many partners or significant others have they had in their lifetime. So here we can see that 43 people had 0 partners, 66 people had 1 partner, and so on. So here we have our formulas for variance, which is S sub y squared, and standard deviation, which is S sub y. So the formula is the sum of all y minus y bar squared over n minus 1. Then to find the standard deviation, you just take the square root of the variance. So the first thing that we need to do when we're calculating variance is to find the mean. To find the mean, we need to add up all the numbers and divide it by the total, right? Because y bar, which is the mean, equals the sum of all raw scores divided by the total. But you can't just add all these numbers up, and you can't just add all these numbers up, right? These are the actual values that each person answered, right? So 60 people answered that they had 5 partners. But you can't just add 5 plus 6 plus 7, because that would just be giving one person a value of 5, right? That would be saying one person had 5 partners, one person had 6 partners, and one person had 7 partners. We need to account for how many times each of these values was given in our survey. So to do that, we multiply our values, which are 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., by our frequencies. So let's do that. We're going to have 0 times 43, which is 0, plus 1 times 66, which is 66, plus 2 times 104, which is 208, plus 3 times 53, which is 159, plus 4 times 47, which is 188, plus 5 times 60, which is 300, plus 6 times 4, which is 24, plus 7 times 13, which is some number, 91, 8 times 8, 64, 13 times 1, 13, and 21 times 1, 21. Okay? So what these numbers represent is the total amount of partners for all the people who answered each of these values, right? So all 43 people who answered 0 together have 0 partners. All the 66 people who had 1 partner together had 66 partners, right? And so on. So now we can add these up and then divide it by 400, which is our total, right? Remember that n is the total number of people or participants or observations in the data set, not the total number of categories. That's k. K is the total number of categories, which in this case would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So k in this case would be 11, but n is 400. So what we need to do is we need to add all of these numbers up. So we have 66, 208, 159, 188, 300, 24, 91, 64, 13, and 21. That gives us a total of 1,134. So we take that number, which is the sum of all raw scores, right? Sigma y, the sum of all raw scores. We added up all the scores, and we need to divide it by 400, which is our n. So that gives us a mean of 2.84. So then we're going to put 2.84 for every value in the y bar column. Now, to find y minus y bar, we take the value here for number of partners and we subtract y bar, or the mean. So 0 minus 2.84 is negative 2.84. Okay, 1 minus 2.84 is negative 1.84. 2 minus 2.84 is negative 0.84. 3 minus 2.84 is 0.16. Okay, and then we'll do that all the way down. So this is 1.16, this is 2.16, this is 3.16, this is 4.16, 5.16, then 13 minus 2.84 is 10.16, and 21 minus 2.84 is 18.16. Okay, so now we have our y minus y bar column filled out. And what this value is telling you is how far from the mean a score of 0 is. So because the mean is 2.84 significant others, or partners, that a person's had in their lifetime, somebody who has had 0 partners has 2.84 less partners than average. And a person who has had 13 partners in their life has 10.16 more partners than the average person. So that's what this column gives us. Now, because our formula requires that we have y minus y bar squared, we're going to square all of these values. And what that does is it gets rid of all the negative signs, because we don't want negative signs when we're calculating our standard deviation. So 2.84 squared is going to give us 8.07. Okay, 1.84 squared is going to give us 3.39. 0.84 squared